Hey, Swany and Cookie. If you guys are actually seeing this video or listening to this video, then let me say I love you guys. Keep doing what you're doing. I love your content. You guys have a lifelong follower. Now, that out of the way, all the brown nosing out of the way. Really quick, I'm going to try and keep this as quick as possible because I know the last thing you want to do is watch this video. But I wanted to give you my opinion, and there's no possible way I could type it into the comments after your last video about the bug notes from the last update. So just bear with me here. But let me preface with this. This is a while back. The game had launched, and there was a whole big ordeal about the progression system, or the loot boxes and all that jazz. And so fast forward a couple months, about 2 months, and I was at an alumni event for the University of Illinois out here in Washington, D.C., with my fiance because she got her bachelor's in Juris Doctorate there. So we're out there with all of the pompous people who want us to open up our checkbooks. And just a quick little side note for you, I told the assistant dean that I will give him a check the moment he pays us back $230,000 because that's how much we spent at their school. Anyways, so we're at this event, and she and I run across this couple. It was like the only other oddball couple in the room, besides us, because we weren't like the whole rich type and all that jazz. But anyways, and so we started talking with them. Come to find out, this gentleman teaches like gaming development, video game development. I don't know the particulars, but that's what he's in. That's what he does, and he teaches at one of the major universities out here in the DC area. There's it was either George Washington University or American University. I think it was American. Maybe it was Georgetown. I don't know. It was one of those. So I figured, you know what? Let me pick this guy's brain because it was fresh with what had happened with Battlefront 2. So I asked him, and I'm like, well, let me pick your brain on this. He said, sure. So what do you think of the whole loot box thing and EA shares losing $3 billion and this, that, and blah, blah, blah? And he said, well, to be honest with you, nobody actually lost any money. There just wasn't the gain that was projected. But that being said, he said that, he was proud of the gaming community. They didn't like it, so, they boycotted it. And that's what happened. Now, when I asked him about his opinion on the future of this game, where do you see this going? How will this work? And he kind of broke it down for me. He said, okay, what's going to happen is one of two things. One, if EA changes their business plan, because you got to remember that they actually had a business plan for this game. All right, so you have these future projections happening. You got to make X amount of dollars, blah, 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 make shareholders money, blah, blah, blah. He said, so they're either going to change that system, which we now know they did, or they're not going to change it. Now, if they change the system, then what's going to happen, this will tell us which direction the game's going to go. He said if they change the system and they do not implement some form of revenue stream, a significant revenue stream out of that new system, which we call today the progression system, then the game's dead. It's over with. He said, now, if you do see a big monetary system where they're bringing in a good lucrative amount of revenue off of this, then this game's going to just take off and it's going to thrive. And I asked him, I said, okay, well, tell me this. If they do not implement some new monetary system, how is the game going to die? It's, all these people pay $60, $80, $100, whatever they're paying for this game. They're obligated to at least keep it going for a couple of years, right? Before the next game, if there's going to be one. And he said, that's absolutely right. He said, and you'll see that if you look back in history at a lot of these games, this exact same thing has happened. So what they're going to do is they're going to milk it for what it's worth. And if it's not generating that amount of revenue that they need, they're going to remove their resources off of the game. And so I know I'm kind of babbling on here, but I'm getting somewhere. Now, by removing their resources, he said that puts it in the final phase of the game. You're going to leave some developers behind, and you're going to use them to slowly keep the game going, but you're not going to see massive drops of content. You're going to see a lot of bugs implemented, things of that nature, and then the game just slowly dies off before they are able to bring out the new one with the whole new business plan, or nothing at all, whichever way they go. And since it's EA, he told me that they'll probably bring out another one, and they're just going to make some significant changes to it. So, and you guys know as well as I do that there is a big community here. You know, we all love Star Wars. We love the Star Wars game. We just wish that they would quit being so freaking asinine about the game, you know? Well, anyways, my point is, based off of this discussion I had with this guy, and I'm kind of just breezing through it to keep this short, we talked for a good hour and a half about this, and my conclusion, this is just my opinion, I got nothing else to base this off of except for that that professor that I talked to, is that they have pulled their resources off the game. Regardless of what they even tell us, how many developers are working on it and this and that. Now, they've pulled their resources off of the game. That is what they have done. So, it's either, Swany, you may be onto something here. They could be implementing these updates with bugs on purpose. Why? To kill off the game. Obviously, that's the whole point, is just get the audience to get away from it, quit talking about it, and we'll start over fresh on number 3. Or none at all. Or, and this is more what I'm leaning towards, they don't have the manpower, those resources. So when they're making these changes to the game, maybe based off the way the game was built originally, when they make one little change to it, it screws up a whole bunch of stuff. You know, this is my guess. You know, I'm not a developer. I don't freaking know. But, you know, it's like the domino effect. You touch one thing and it kind of screws with some of the other stuff. So you got to kind of tweak everything else, or a few other odds and ends. But they're on a timeline here. They have got to get content out. Now, you guys know as well as I do that no content really has been released in this game since that first release. There's actually been no actual content. What are they giving us? Appearances. And I did a video about this, but anyway, who cares? They give us appearances. That's their content. That right there tells me they don't have the manpower to do this stuff. I think they lack the resources. They still have to get this stuff out by a time frame. So they pump it out with these updates, having all these bugs not completely fixed. And they figured that buys us the next month. As one of you guys, I think it was Cookie may have said it, maybe Swany, I don't know. And that buys them the next month to fix it. You remember like the hero and support class bug that they had? How long did it take them? What was it, a month? 2 months? I don't remember. I think it was a month. Well, it buys them all that time. And so that's what they're doing. You notice they're not really releasing any content? Hey, I've got an awesome idea, guys. It's an awesome idea. And I think I'm the first one to come up with it. What if they release a new Galactic Assault map? Just a thought. Just a thought. Well, they probably don't because they don't have the manpower to do it. They'd rather just copy and paste. And that's something that professor told me. He said, you will start to see copy and paste from the previous game. You're going to see a lot of it, he said. And he said, if you see that, that is an indication to you that the game is in its final phase. Meaning, when he says final phase, what he was referring to was development. They're not pushing to develop mass amounts of content and to really turn this game around and turn it into what you and I know it could be, and should be. So that's just my thoughts on it, guys. I appreciate you. I love you guys to death. Keep the content going, and I really do hope that you guys saw this video. And sorry I went a little over. I was going to try and keep it 2 minutes. Whoops. Anyways, you guys take it easy. Talk to you again soon.